welcome to my podcast. You're listening to Mood Swings by Robert Buckington. And this is episode 16. So a lot of you know what had happened over the last week or so. I had my cousin Scott was involved in a car accident in Uganda, Africa. Him and his family, they were over there as missionaries. He became a pastor and was over there changing lives. Basically was following the direction that he wanted to go and following that path. And on his journey, he passed away. So, for me, I feel bad because I didn't really get to talk to him too much. He was busy doing his thing, and being on Facebook is good to keep ties with your family and things like that. Even if you don't get to speak to them too much, at least they can check in on you whenever they want, or they can send a message because they're connected. It's a good thing to be involved in social media in that way. Like I said, I wasn't really, I didn't keep in touch with Scott too much. So, but I know that he loved me and I loved him, and I just want to kind of spread the love to all my other family and friends. You need to make sure that you spend time with your family. Something that I posted on Facebook that if you don't spend time with your family, you just miss out on a lot. And you never know what you have until it's gone. I really wish that people would just ease up. Life is too short. You don't need to be involved in arguments and fights and things like that. Because really, for the most part, if you dwell on things that are not in your control, then you're losing out. Spend time with your family. Don't worry about things like in my case. Every time I get behind the wheel, I'm always stressed out or whatever. But it's really tough when you lose a family member that you realize that it's rough all the way around, man. But you can't let that get in the way of your time spending with family and friends. Don't overlook that. It's important. And that's coming from me. Whether you think of me as somebody that's important or not, just think of me as a person who's telling you like it is. So, I just want to say that, I'll miss Scott. And I'll miss all the fun times that we had when we were young. That'll be with me for the rest of my life. So, anyway, I kind of wanted to share that, there's other things going on right now. Looking for a new job, hoping to get something that's close by my house, something that kind of relates to my degree. Been kind of wanting to take another acting class, get into some photography classes. I've been talking about that for a while now, though, as far as taking photography classes. I think I'm in a position soon to be able to do that. I'll have more time. I've been involved in college classes, and it's real tough when you don't have enough time to do anything else other than schoolwork and work. You got to sacrifice a lot with that. I'm hoping at some point that this will give me, this degree will give me something that I can really get a decent enough job with. In the meantime, I have to kind of just do what I got to do to get by and pay my bills. And I'm actually doing really well financially. It's just, if I could just cut out some of the extra spending that I do, that might help me out financially and things like that, because I'm eventually going to have to pay back my student loans anyway. So the more money I can get back, the more I can pay towards that, and hopefully pay it off in 20 years or something like that. By that time, I'll be an old man. Whew. Yeah. But anyway, I got that going for me. Let's see, what else? Acting classes, I mentioned. I kind of need to get back into that because, I kind of lost that a little bit. Lost my edge, if you want to call it that. I got to go in and sharpen it again and hopefully be able to get another agent. The last agent that I was working with, I mentioned on LinkedIn that I had a phone number that was on my IMDb page that they had used to give me a call and left a message, and somehow I just didn't get the message. I think I might have actually said something about this in a previous podcast, but, as it turns out, I'm looking for another agent. I'd like to try and get more acting work because I'm not liking my current job. I'm dealing with that for quite some time. I think that if I move into another job, whatever, I'd like for it to be something that I'd be interested in doing, like acting, or maybe even acting and playing music. That would be my dream come true, just being able to play music and act. So maybe I should just be pushing for that. Like I said, life is too short. You want to do what makes you feel good, because we're not on this earth for very long, man. So anyway, if anybody knows of an agent that's willing to take on a new client, I'd be willing to send them my headshot and resume, maybe read for them. I don't know, whatever it is, whatever it takes. I have a manager, basically freelancing with him, meaning that I'm a client, but I'm not a signed client. I'm just out there to basically see what can happen, kind of thing. It's not like he is my sole manager. If I wanted to freelance with another manager, I could, but to simplify things, I'd rather just stick with one manager, so that's the reason why I'm staying with him. But the agent, I need to get an agent. I need more work, more auditions, whatever. The more faces that I see, the more chances of me being able to book a job, so book a role or whatever. Out here in New York, they're doing a lot of like Marvel comic book related superhero type stuff. I've auditioned for a couple of spots on a couple of different shows and didn't get them, but as it is, with the auditions that I've done and everything, the casting directors, they know who I am and everything, but I guess they're still not convinced that I could be whatever role that I auditioned for, I guess. I don't know. That comes with the auditioning. Consider it training, if you want to call it that, because, the more casting directors, the more producers, the more directors, whoever it is that's casting for a particular role, the more faces that I see, the more opportunity that I get to be booked. I mean, that's just the way it is. So at this point, I think that I'm more or less more of a kind of like a supporting role, or even a co-star type person. Not really a leading man, and I'm fine with that. If you think of me, being cast as anything, I'd be like, not necessarily a Jonah Hill, but Jonah Hill always plays like these sidekick type roles, which, I probably would be good for and everything, but I got to get in the door. Nobody's hiring, or at least nobody's hiring me for a role in that respect. So, got to get out there more, I think. Got to get out there and network. I've been invited to a couple of networking parties that I haven't been able to go to because of school. Well, that's coming to an end here real soon, and I'm hoping to jump right on in and get something. That's what I see myself doing. I see myself acting. I don't really see myself soldering assembly work for the rest of my life. That type of work is droll and dull and boring. You sit down all day and you suck in all the solder smoke. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. I'm hoping that at some point something is going to happen. Need to be in a big production, big budget film or TV series or something, and get catapulted from there. That's how it happens. So it's coming. Let's see. Oh, the film that I'm working on, or at least the screenplay anyway, I've been able to get a couple more pages written, dialogue. Eventually going to get this thing done. Hopefully at some point within the next, let's see, it's registered until 2020 or 2021. At that point, I had to re-register it. If it's still not done, which I'd hope to have it done by then. Normally it doesn't take these writers that write screenplays and things like that very long to write them. But then they do that professionally. I'm an amateur screenplay writer, so it's kind of expected. But at the same time, if a movie really moves you, you could get it done in as few as a couple of weeks or something or whatever. But for me, it's just over the last few years, I've been trying to get something out and everything, and I've been able to get pages done, but not, what do you want to call it? Not chapters, but I guess that would, group the number of pages into a chapter, and it would be, in a book form, it would be a period of time or whatever. But in my case, it's just, I'll write like 1 or 2 pages and I'll stop, come back a couple of weeks later and think about writing a couple of pages, but can't come up with anything. So then I just put it off until I come back to it again, and that's not good. If you want to get a screenplay done, an option, you got to put all your effort into it, But, I'm happy to say that at least I'm now up to 27 pages. I got about maybe 80 more pages to go, but it'll happen. I'm hoping that, at some point the screenplay will get done and I'll be able to sell it, which was the intention in the first place. Maybe it could get me on the ball to a better opportunity, maybe even writing screenplays or something, or writing TV shows. I got a friend of mine who's already written about like 3 or 4 movies and has done like 2 sitcoms, series. And then, but that guy, he's like an animal. He just pumps those things out like nobody's business. Me, it's going to have to take some time to get my ideas gone through, the process. So, anyway, still working with Scott Goldberg, trying to come up with some ideas for a film. The last few ideas that we came up with, I just wasn't involved. I got too busy. Hoping that something will happen soon with that. In the meantime, I'm working on finding a particular program that I can use with my electronic drum triggers for music, recording music and playing music. That's something that I've been trying to get a handle on. I have a program that seems to be okay, but I haven't really been able to mess around with it because I'm too busy or whatever. Hoping that soon I'll be able to financially put the money together to buy that program, because it's only a trial version. Considering buying it. It's going to work, hopefully, with my particular setup. Maybe get some industrial drum sounds and some, rock drum sounds that are more full. The drums that I have and everything, they're decent drums and everything, but I don't know what they sound like yet. Playing them all out, kind of thing, with full volume. So, at some point, I'd like to mess around with that. At least with the electronic drum sounds, I can wear headphones while I play and be able to hear the sound that I'm trying to generate, kind of thing, by hitting the drum through headphones, whatever. Yeah, but it's coming together, everything's coming together. I'm not going to spend all my time worrying about things. Just got to get them done. Just do them. Life is short. Anyway, that's what's going on with me. What's going on with you? You can always email me any questions, any comments, whatever. I'm at robertleckington@gmail.com. You can always go to my website at robertleckington.com. That's http://www.robertleckington.com. That's my main homepage, my official page. I'm on all the social media sites, all the popular ones anyway. You can always send me a message on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. If you have any things that you want me to talk about. Nobody's sent me any messages about what I should talk about. I always put that out there. I'm able to talk about whatever you want me to talk about. And in fact, might even start a good enough conversation to where I have something more to say than just within the last few podcasts. I've only had maybe 20 minutes worth of stuff. But then again, too, I only have a half hour on each podcast that I'm able to record for. So, And, most of the stuff gets edited down, so you don't hear like the pops and the ums and all that other stuff that I consistently do when I'm recording myself. I want you to hear the quality podcast and not the quantity podcast, you know what I mean? So, anyway, drop me a line. Go to robertleckington.com, any of the social sites. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me I suck. I can take it. I don't care. Maybe that could spark a conversation or something. I don't know. Just let me know what you're thinking. And I will talk to you guys real soon. Thank you for listening. And you guys have a great rest of your month or whatever else. Take it easy.